Okay, this is going to be the video exam review for Chapter 1 material in Math 120. We'll begin with problem number 1 that says find the mean, median, mode, mid-range, range, and standard deviation. Okay, so problem number 1. Here are the numbers listed. If you recall, the mean is the average. So what you want to do is add all these numbers up and divide by the total number of numbers. Well, when I add these numbers up, I get a total of 1,539, and there are 9 numbers, so divide by 9. And if it doesn't divide evenly, you would give me 1 decimal place, but it does divide evenly, so the mean here is 171. So we've done the first thing. The median, if you recall, is the middle value when these numbers are placed in order. So when you order these numbers, and I'll order them here on the side, it would be 61, 71, 91, 101, 111, 231, 271, 271 again, and 331. So if you recall, the median is the middle value, so the middle value is this number 111. Since there are an odd number of numbers, the middle value is only 111. If there were an even number of numbers, you would take the 2 middle values, add them, and divide by 2. So now we've done the median. The mode is the one that occurs the most, and it must be repeated at least 1 time, and there can be more than 1 mode. In this case, the only number repeated is 271, so therefore that is the mode. The mid-range is, as it sounds, you take the middle of the range. So instead of subtracting like we do in the range, what you're going to do here is add the smallest number plus the largest number and divide by 2. So you're taking the average of the extremes, the largest and smallest number. So when I do that, I get a value of 196. The range, again, you just subtract the largest and the smallest. So 331 minus 61, you get a range of 270. The problem that takes the most to do is the standard deviation. If you recall, we need a table for that. And the table is going to be value, deviation, and deviation squared. Okay? So when we complete this table, we want to write all of those values. So 61, 71, 91, 101, etc. Okay, so the deviation, if you recall, the deviation is the mean minus the value. So the mean here was 171. If the mean is not a whole number, for the standard deviation calculation only, convert it to a whole number, so round. But we have a whole number, so 171 minus 61 is 110. And then you do this with each problem. 171 minus 71 is 100. 171 minus 91 is 80, and so forth. And I'll just do those. Okay, then what we do is we square those values. Squaring means multiplying by itself, so this column will always be positive. So when I multiply a number by itself, whether it's positive or negative, it will always turn out positive. So when I take 110 times 110, I get 12,100. And I'll go ahead and square all of these values. Okay, the next step to finding the standard deviation is to find the average of this last column, the deviation squared. That's called the variance. So to find the variance, we add up this column and take the average. So when I add this column up, I get 86,200. I divide by 9 because I'm finding the average, and I get a variance of 9,577.8 approximately. So the last step of the standard deviation then is to take the square root of the variance and round. So this would be about 97.9 if you rounded to one decimal place. Okay, number 2. You're going to find the same information from above, and I'll leave that for you to do. However, we'll do the new material here, which is constructing the histogram. If you recall, a histogram is just a bar chart. The frequency tells you how many times the score happens. So what I'm going to do is create my chart. I'm going to label the bottom of the chart as the score, and the top here is the frequency. So notice my frequencies go from 1 to 4, so I'll make this labeled scale of 1 to 4, and my scores go from 40 to 100. So I'll go 40, 50, and just count by tens. Okay, now we just make a bar chart. So I'll change pen colors again. And for 40, we have one of them, so I'm going to make a bar at 40, and you can color in the bar or not, it's up to you. And then the next one is 75, and I have two of them. Well, 75 is about in the middle, so I'll go here, and obviously not very straight bars, but, and then I have 3 72s, okay, and there's 4 96s, and 3 91s, 2 83s. Whoops, went a little too far on that one. Let me erase some of that. There we go. And 1 100. Okay, and if you can't tell which the numbers are, if you want, you can write the values on top of the bars. It's not required, but it's close enough. On the answer key to your exam review, you have the answers for the mean, median, mode, mid-range, standard deviation, and range. And we showed you how to do that in example 1 if you need to refer back to that.